Lizzo here, and today I want to talk about a fear that is greater than the fear of failure, and that is the fear of success. Now, you might be wondering, why would I be scared of success? I would like success. That seems like a great thing. However, the fear of success is a lot greater than just, oh, I don't want to succeed at my dreams. The fear of success is like the fear of being seen and recognized, and maybe what people see they won't like. Because if you see like a lot of successful people, you might notice how many people judge them. If you look at like very famous musicians, often they can be quite divided on whether or not they're loved or they're hated. And it's, it could be 80-20, it could be even 90-10, it could be 50-50. But at the end of the day, like, when we look at them, we're seeing that they're so fully exposed that there is a percentage of people who may just like literally just hate them. And that can be really hard and scary, because like, even just having one person hate you can feel like the end of the world. And then let alone like thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And so a couple important things to remember is, if they're judging, they're jealous. And if you're judging, you're jealous. So if you're judging some famous person for being famous, they're probably just envious that they're getting recognition that you think you deserve. But the beautiful thing about the jealousy is when we can turn the jealousy into becoming a student of that person that we're judging. Even though we might not like appreciate every aspect of them, we might not be jealous of certain aspects, but say we're judging, how they're spending their money. Oh, the rich, they're spending their money in bad ways, or these famous people, they have like no talent, but they're so recognized or whatever. But we can still look and see, oh, what is it that they are doing, So maybe like one kind of group of people that I found myself judging, that I had a hard time finding what my jealousy was like people with a lot of like work done on their face. So like people who had like Botox. I would find myself judging that a lot, and I definitely don't want Botox. But I asked myself, where was the jealousy hiding? Where was the jealousy hiding? And the jealousy was hiding in, these are people who are so dedicated to how they look, to their image, and their aesthetic, that they invest in it, they're dedicated to it, they even potentially even suffer for it, and they're so dedicated to their image that they are willing to like commit to it in that way. And so I took what I needed from that, which was like, I looked at my page, and my aesthetic wasn't super inviting. And it's like, you can have a beautiful gift, but if you wrap it in like really kind of just like mediocre wrapping paper, it's totally fine. Like, the packaging isn't important necessarily, it's what's on the inside that counts, but the packaging doesn't hurt. So for me, I was like, I can work on my packaging. It's still authentic to myself. Again, I'm not going to get Botox, but I can work on my packaging. And so I thought about it. I was like, what makes me feel good? What makes me feel abundant? What makes me feel kind of like light and stuff like that? So I'm wearing this beautiful pair of earrings that my mom made me. I'm like wearing colors that I like, and I'm just taking some mindfulness with my social media a little bit more, because I'm an artist. So like, of course I can make it beautiful. Is what I do. I make things beautiful. So overcoming that was really helpful, and the jealousy of, the judgment, I was able to follow to the jealousy, and then I was able to follow to the core of where I needed to learn. So that's a really great tool, and if there's anything you take away from me today, is if you're judging, you're jealous. That's a really, really great way to see where you need to become a student of something. And yeah, so that's one thing. And then another sort of aspect that I wanted to explore was in fear of success, right? Because often when we judge someone, we're thinking, okay, like, I would be famous, but I'm not willing to like compromise these values, or I would be, make more money, but I think like all rich people are evil, so I'm choosing between like money and decent human decency. But I know kind rich people, and I know mean rich people. Money is just an amplifier of whatever you are. So like, if you're mean and you get money, you'll just be mean with more money. money. And then if you're nice and you have money, you'll be nice with more money. And it's like, you know, if all the nice people think that money is evil, then you're just gonna have a world full of mean rich people, which really sucks. But if you have a bunch of nice people with lots of money, you're gonna have a lot of really nice things. Like, there's a cool place in our town, a rich guy named Al Whittle. He created a theater, and he left behind scholarships and like funding for events, and the community really benefits from that beautiful, beautiful venue. It's like, you can be rich and nice. It's totally possible. So overcoming that story, the fear of success, is like, oh, what are the judgments we have of the people who we perceive as successful in that field, and what are we scared about with that? So if we think someone's rich and every rich person's mean, then it's like, okay, well then of course we're gonna like have to choose between rich and kind, and you know, we don't have to choose. We don't have to sacrifice our integrity or our gentleness or our kindness in order to call in abundance. Absolutely not. And honestly, like, all things considered, like when my nervous system is regulated, like when I feel really anxious about my finances, like I try to keep my nervous system regulated, but I can still be anxious, you know, I'm like, ah! And so as a result, like, you know, I might get a little spicy. So again, it's not correlated. And then the other fear of success is being witnessed by so many people. So I think the third aspect of the fear of success is so many people are going to be looking at you, and we don't know. We don't know if they'll like us or not. And that's really, really, can be really scary, especially if we're just scared of just like anybody disliking us. And if we have so much fear of being disliked, we're definitely not going to put ourselves out there. And I have spent a lot of time, like, you know, not putting myself there as much as I know that I could, and that as much as I need to kind of cultivate a successful music career. And I'm finally stepping into that, and I'm overcoming that fear. But as I step into it, I feel this, so it's a twofold thing. At first I feel this glowing, and I'm like, ooh, I really want to do this. So for instance, an artist who I really admire, a really amazing cellist, I was like, ooh, I really want to invite her onto my podcast, because I think she's really talented, and also she's, yeah, I admire her work. Like, she's just really lovely, so I really want to have her on. But as soon as I felt that, I got that as a message. But then the second part, I felt like my heart go like this. It was like, and I felt myself shut down, not because I wasn't supposed to pursue this, but because my feelings of like not shining too bright became louder. It was like, no, like this is gonna be, you know, like, don't be too exposed, don't this, don't that. Like all the thoughts of inferiority, all the feelings of insufficiency, all these stories come up. And then as soon as those stories come up, I feel this closing and this twisting in my heart. And that is often something that comes up just after a dream. So there'll be a dream, boop, that pops up, and it's like, oh, I have a dream. And then the dream comes up, the little ping, the glowing stone, and then that little feeling, the thoughts, and the shutdown. And so kind of a hack that I've been using for the shutdown is literally just like, it's hard to ignore, but basically I'll feel that call. It's like, message this person for about 2 or 3 days. And then if I keep not doing it, that shutdown feeling also exists, and that shutdown feeling doesn't go away. And I can't numb it. Like, I can't numb it. And so it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I just take a leap, and I say, okay, well, I either continue feeling this desire and then ignoring it and feeling shut down, or I just break through. It honestly feels like I'm breaking through like a glass wall. Like, it literally feels like there's a wall, and I just blast right through it. And it's a pretty amazing feeling. And what I'm learning is to revel in that feeling. It's similar to the feeling of a cold plunge. When you are ready to go in the water, and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I know it's good for me. I know it's part of my growth, but oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then the moment you go in, your heart kind of stops, and then it starts again. And then you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's not so scary. Maybe it's not so bad. And every time you go for a dip or a cold plunge, that feeling doesn't necessarily go away, but you're less scared of it. You're less scared of it. And when you can learn to breathe slowly in those moments and break through that glass wall, or go into that cold water, or, you know, do something that you know that will help your growth, but that is a little scary, that feeling will start to become more comfortable or more exciting. And so I've been getting that feeling a lot lately, because I've been putting myself into situations where I feel like they would help me grow, but that little fear of growth that comes up says, oh, what if you fail? What if you fall? What if you look stupid? What if all this and that and this and that? And all these little things that say, no. And honestly, the reason why I've been doing the things is just that anxiety, to overcome the anxiety, instead of just like repressing it and numbing it, I'm just doing it instead. And then it helps satiate the anxiety because I've done it. And then once I've done it, I can't be anxious about it anymore because I've already done it. So that's a really, really helpful thing, is literally just picture it like breaking through a glass wall, or like going in for a cold plunge. The cold plunge is a really good example because it feels better after. And so when you go into that cold water, yes, like before you're like, but as soon as you go in, you feel everything start to slow down. And then when you get out, the dopamine is incredible, okay? So when you let yourself do those hard things, like working out, when you let yourself go and you work out, it's like, you know, maybe it doesn't feel good to start, but like as soon as you're into it and then you're done, you're like, oh my gosh, it feels so good. And so every time I feel that little ping that says, oh, you should do this, and then I feel that like, that twisting, I sit with it and I'm like, okay, is the dream too big? Because honestly, inviting someone to talk on my podcast isn't that wild. Like, if you really think about it, people love talking about themselves, you know, like why wouldn't they want to be on my podcast, right? Like, you know, I ask good questions, it's great. Like, why wouldn't they want to be on my podcast? People love being on podcasts. I love being on podcasts. Invite me to talk on your podcast, it's super fun. But why am I scared? Well, there is the chance that someone might say no. And they could say no just because, oh, you don't have enough followers, or no, I don't know who you are, or no, I don't have the time. But regardless, most people are really excited to talk about themselves. I'm not gonna lie. And so why would I even be scared of that? Why would I even be scared of that? And even with my music, it's like, okay, I'm gonna release this song. I'm really excited about it. And then all of a sudden, it's like there's this feeling. And then I think about it. I'm like, who wouldn't be happy to hear my song? Why would, if people aren't happy to hear my song, like they'll just skip on through, or they'll leave a really inappropriate comment, and then it'll bring the algorithm to me anyway. Like, even if they're like, this song sucks so bad, it's like, actually, I get attention regardless. Like, what's that thing? It's like, no publicity is, even bad press is good press, no press is bad press. And it's like, oh yeah, like there was that Katy Perry song where she was singing in cursive, and it's like, it almost sounded like she was singing like Alanis Morissette. And a lot of people were like, this literally sucks. Like, I didn't see anybody really like it on her chat, but like it blew up. And literally, like, all that, you know, hate brought so much attention to her page. Or even like Aubrey Marcus and Vailana talking about their like radical monogamy, which is really just polyamory. They got so many followers from that. Like, so even the hate, like, is still bringing traction and energy to what it is that you're creating. So obviously, like, don't try to do something that you think people will hate. Like, that's, I mean, you can if that's your vibe, but like, for me, I'm just like, okay, if ultimately, like, people hate what I do, even that's not that bad. And so the fear of success, if we're talking about it, okay, fear of success is fear of being seen and hated. So when we can really, really work through that fear of being seen and hated, it's like, how do we work through that? How we work through that. So when I really meditated on that, the answer came, and the answer was, we work through it by really being strong in our love for ourselves. So that if someone says, I love you so much, unshakable. I hate you so much, unshakable. You know, I think you're beautiful, I think you're ugly, whatever it is, unshakable, unshakable. I love your song, I hate your song, unshakable. Be so committed to yourself and your art and your creations that regardless of what people say, you don't let it fill you up and you don't let it empty you. You don't let it fill you up and you don't let it empty you. It's nice, and like, thank you. Like, you know, if you do say something nice to me in my work, like, thank you. Thank you so much. If you say something really cool about me and I find that it triggers me, then there might be some truth to it within my own reality. And so that's another thing. When you decide to like be witnessed by many people, it's a pretty powerful mirror. And the way that the mirror works is like how the comments affect us. So if you were to tell me I hate your purple hair, I wouldn't be offended because I don't have purple hair. So I wouldn't be offended by that. But then if in turn, or let's even do a purple jacket. So say I was really self-conscious about my purple jacket. I bought the purple jacket and I was like, oh, I don't know, like, do I like, I don't know, does it look silly? Oh, maybe I shouldn't wear my purple jacket. And then you come up to me and you're like, I love your purple jacket. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness, somebody likes my purple jacket. I don't look so silly. And then in turn, if you come by and you say, I really don't like your purple jacket, and I'm like, I knew I shouldn't have worn my purple jacket. But if I love my purple jacket, like if I really, really, really love my purple jacket, nothing you can say will shake me. If I go out and I feel confident about my purple jacket, and then you're like, oh my God, I love your purple jacket, I'd be like, thank you. Thank you, so do I. Like, do you want me to tell you I got it, you know, and then you can get one of your own or whatever. Or you can come to me and you say, I really hate your purple jacket. And I'd be like, okay, that's cool. Well, it's not yours. So that's fine. It's not your purple jacket. You don't have to wear it. You don't even have to look at it. So on your merry way. And that's the difference when it comes to, like, that's a purple jacket. But if we bring it into like who we are and ourselves, those kind of can roll off of us as well. And to be unshakable when it comes to that. In the same way that we can be unshakable with the purple jacket. And that kind of attitude is really, really what we need in order to step into being seen more as artists. Because if we are not comfortable with being seen as, like, exposing ourselves as artists, you know, that purple jacket is an expression of who you are too, right? So if you go on, like, I don't want to see my purple jacket, right? And the same thing with our art. So if I make something big, bold, and however it is, if someone comes along and says they love it, someone comes along and says they hate it, still to maintain that same unshakable energy. So great ways to maintain that unshakable energy is to find ways to nourish yourself. Because the fear is if someone doesn't like us, they won't give us our nourishments. If you don't like me, you won't feed me. If you don't like me, you won't love me. If you don't like what I do or how I act, none of my needs will be met. And that can be really scary. That can be really scary. So how can we meet our needs first so that we don't feel like everybody else is responsible for meeting our needs? And so we have to establish what our needs are and what makes us feel safe and nourished. So for me, like, I can ensure that I go and connect to the earth every single day. If I put my feet on the ground every single day, that's a need that you can't give me, that I can give to myself every single day. Just by going outside and putting my feet on the ground, I can give myself that need. You know, slow breathing. You can't breathe slowly for me. I can breathe slowly for me. So I can ensure that's met. I can ensure that my nourishments are met so that I'm not in this wild up and down journey every single time you say you love what I do or you hate what I do. And it allows me to be a lot more centered. I can still definitely appreciate the appreciation, and we can be at an appreciation dance where we're like, yeah, hyping each other up, and I'm super down to hype you up. But really grounding ourselves in our sense of belonging so that we can be exposed to more and more and more people without feeling terrified. I would say would be, yeah, probably one of the best ways to land and feel safe being seen. So this is just like a random one. This wasn't actually like my regular live, but I'm super down to do any chats. I see that there's someone here in the audience or in the crew. So if you had any questions, feel free to pop on and ask any questions. And we can have a little chat. And if not, I might just do a little music, a little jingle, and then pop on off. Let me see, I've got a couple songs. So I'm actually working on an album, and so this might be a really good time to kind of share some of the things. I'm gonna do it on the ukulele. I find the ukulele sound a little nicer than the piano on here. I'd love to invest in like a nice kind of sound setup. So if you have any suggestions and or feedback on that, let me know. But for now, I'm gonna do a little something something. Ooh, I love this song. I haven't sung this one in a really long time, but I know that it belongs on this album. Ooh, I'm wearing a belt. It's called Exactly Who I'm Meant to Be. Let me pop this up here. Let's be bougie. Alright, and here we go. And it's about like, you know how sometimes you like wish you were someone else, or you wish you had a different body, or you wish you were born in another year. Well, this is just saying like, you know what, maybe you're perfect just the way you are right now, exactly as you are. So, and actually this was inspired because I had written a song kind of giving all this unconditional love to someone who wasn't really giving it back to me. It's still a beautiful song. It's on my like Just Mickey album called Belonging. I can link it here in the description, but it's called Thank You for Being You, but there's a little sadness to it. Because all I was really ever hoping for was that someone would say that to me, so this is a song of me saying it to myself. It's not the